KBLA Talk 1580. Good morning and God bless. Happy last day of Women's History Month. I'm Dominique DiPrima. The show is called First Things First, and my very first thing today and every day is giving thanks, giving praises, and asking for blessings from God. Asking for the blessings of the ancestors and the elders and getting it started. We got a lot to talk about, a lot to do, and this is what we do on here on Mondays. Hour 1, we look local. Hour 2, we go national, international, and beyond. And in the third hour, we do a deep dive on a hot topic or an important person or both. Usually it's both. Well, today it is also, just coincidentally, that's always the last Monday of the month, Black Marriage Monday. So we'll be speaking with a woman who's been hitched for over 50 years and still in love. Let me say Eid Mubarak before I forget to all my Muslim brothers and sisters that are part of our KBLA delegation. Happy Eid. Eid is the final day of Ramadan. And also, happy Cesar Chavez birthday. Hour 2, the phone lines will be wide open. Of course, we're kicking off the top of that hour with Sahara Ali and Mindful Monday, where we do our little meditation, guided meditation, affirmation, little astrological outlook, get ourselves in alignment for the week ahead. And right now, the host of the new and amazing Altadena Rising, the Conversation Live. He's a writer for the LA Progressive and a contributor on this show, James Farr. Good morning.
Good morning, Dominique. How you doing?
I'm blessed and highly favored. How are you?
You know what? I'm doing all right this morning. You know, I thought it was raining a little bit harder than what it is, but we danced through it and we're in here.
I think it was raining harder last night. Right now it's sprinkling, but
I totally missed that update. So
all I know is I just got my car washed, so it's wrong. Yeah. But whatever, the
rain
plants
check,
need
right?
it. Yeah. Well, so congratulations on your new show. I think you haven't been in here since you started it. You do it Saturdays.
Yeah, it's Conversation Live, Altadena Rising with James Farr. We are live every Saturday morning at 10 a.m. Pacific Standard Time with a replay on Sunday at noon.
I'm so excited because it's another successful spinoff from First Things First. And of course, you know, you always come prepared. You always do your homework.
Well, this is like the franchise, right? Like you farm them out.
This is the farm team right here. Yeah.
And,
apparently.
And I certainly, appreciate you and everything you've done. But one of the things that people have emailed me, right, or contacted me, they was like, yeah, we heard your show, but when are you coming back with Dominique? Because that's where we like. And I'm like, hey, what about my show? But,
yeah, well, people got used to us and our friendly banter.
You're bullying. That's one way to frame it up.
Oh my God, goodness! Like first thing Monday morning, I haven't even said anything except congratulations. You over here crying.
That was not that was a declaration, but no, thank you so much. It's
you really think I bully you? A 5'2", 120-pound woman can bully you?
No,
a grown ass man.
No, I wanted you to feel empowered on the last day of Women's History Month.
Look, bullying does not empower me, my friend. It is not my goal to bully anyone, but I will, slap you around a little. I hit back.
You do.
I hit back is the thing. And even those subtle, the little subtle digs, the little passive aggressive stuff.
I don't
folks be doing.
I don't do passive aggressive. I'm straight. Okay. Yeah. But anyway, how you doing now?
I'm good, and I said to myself, James is happily married. He's been married for a long time.
Almost 26 years, yeah.
Ooh, 26 years. You're halfway to my Black Marriage Monday guest.
That's a lot of time.
Yeah, you got, you're halfway there.
Mm-hmm.
And obviously we're going to talk about everything going on locally, including Altadena and the special that we have coming up.
Sure.
But of course I have to ask you, your Black Marriage Monday tips or thoughts.
Oof, man, don't do what I do.
Well, apparently what you're doing is working because you're still married.
Well, no, I mean, the rinse and repeat advice that I've given to people, or and especially my brothers, is if your key still works, you got a chance to work it out. So it's when the locks change, then you're in trouble, right? So you can't work on anything. I understand space, but you can't work on things together separately in that kind of situation. So that may mean marriage counseling at some point, before, during, constantly. I mean, it's like anything else. You have to work at it constantly. People change, life changes. But I think if you
and you guys have kids too.
Yeah, 2 kids. Yeah, two, a senior in high school and a 4th grader. So it's there's just different. What they say, same house, different home. Your children will experience you differently based on where you are at that point in your life. Be it professionally. I mean, it's a myriad of things, but it's the best work you can ever do with someone else to build a strong foundation in a family.
And honestly, I would say from my observation, which I haven't spent a ton of time around you guys, but even when you're not around her, it seems like you really admire your wife. Like after
Absolutely.
26 years, you really still value her.
Absolutely. I mean, well, she doesn't make that hard to do, but there is something that, I had a good example with my parents. My father really admired my mother, right? She was a strong person. She was his, kind of that rib in the sense, but I also understood that he may have had some agency as the head of the house, but the head never moved without the neck. Mom controlled everything.
Interesting. Well, congratulations to you and Mrs. Farr on 26 blissful years.
Almost, when you're doing this kind of time, you track it, but we're closer to 26 than we are further to.
Well,
25.
the way I look at it, in LA, 26 years, LA time, you guys have been married like 100 years by now, which means that my guest today, who is also from LA, has been married like 200 years. If we're talking LA time here. So congratulations to you and her. And we just do that because it's so easy to get caught up only in politics.
Sure.
Especially right now in the time we're in with the nonstop, unprecedented. I don't even want to say that word anymore. The political territory. I feel like we need to go the extra mile to make sure we're doing the physical well-being, the mental, spiritual well-being, and our relationship, romantic, familial health have to be centered. So I do this the last Monday of every month, even Cesar Chavez's birthday. And I do it, and the third one is Messy Monday, where we talk about,
No, I don't want nothing to do with
relationships
that. No, I'm good.
that are not committed yet, or ones that have unraveled.
Look, I just learned what a sneaky link is, so
why do you need to learn that for?
It came up in a comment. Now, I asked the question, "What is that?" Right? I didn't know if it was a website or an app.
Oh my gosh!
I'm totally out.
Well, you don't need to know what that is.
No, I don't. I don't.
In fact, I would pretend you still don't know if I were you.
We have a lot of conversations.
He just confessed on the air that he'd been out here talking about sneaky links.
Pop culture. It's on those housewife thing shows.
Oh yeah, that I don't watch.
Yeah,
got it.
Yeah,
it's on the internet.
Yes.
So we're going to talk a little bit about Altadena. You are welcome to call 800-920-1580. You're also always invited to hit us up on social media, KBLA 1580 on every platform. I'm at DiPrima Radio, DiPrima, and then radio. I know y'all like to call me Dupree, but it's actually DiPrima. I don't care unless you're trying to find my YouTube channel. Then I need you to spell it right. And James is at
James Farr Live. Yes.
Yeah, James Farr Live. Miles is at Miles Low Music. We can find us everywhere. All right. Continuing the conversation when we come forward on KBLA Talk 1580.
She's reclaiming her time on KBLA Talk 1580. More First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward. Before the fire, Altadena was a real-life Wakanda. A thriving black oasis just 15 miles from downtown Los Angeles. 80% black residents were homeowners, building intergenerational wealth against the odds. It was a hub of black-owned businesses, churches, and cultural institutions. It stood as a symbol of black resilience and economic independence. Then, in a matter of hours, it was gone. The fire tore through homes, swallowed businesses, and left behind a painful void. But was it just an unstoppable act of nature, or was negligence involved? Did officials ignore early warning signs? Were the response efforts delayed or insufficient? What role, if any, did corporate or government failures play? Survivors are demanding answers. Don't miss our KBLA Talk 1580 Town Hall. The Eden Altadena Fire, 100 days and counting, on Wednesday, April 16th, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Robinson Park Recreation Center, 1081 North Fair Oaks in Pasadena. Join Dominique DiPrima, Nee Cordelai Corte, James Farr, Tavis Smiley, and a panel of survivors, community leaders, and experts as we commemorate Day 100 since the wildfires flared up, and we discuss where we go from here. It's KBLA's Eden Altadena Fire, 100 Days and Counting Town Hall, Wednesday, April 16th, 4 to 6 p.m. at the Robinson Park Recreation Center in Pasadena. Light refreshments to follow. Admission is free, but sign-up is required at our KBLA1580.com website. This is a community call to action, brought to you by KBLA Talk 1580 and Quinn Emanuel Trial Lawyers. At KBLA Talk 1580, we've got your black. We've got a lot to talk about.
I'm Reverend Gerald, the life coach. Is someone you love struggling with addiction and mental illness? Is improving your family's health important? Want to leave a legacy that your family can grow? Are you ready to enhance your perception of life experiences? Then wake up weekends at 7 a.m. with Urban Family Focus and get the wisdom, opportunity, resources, and motivation to live your best life. Join the conversation on Urban Family Focus Saturday and Sunday at 7 a.m.
Unapologetically progressive. KBLA Talk 1580. We've got your black. Your ancestors' favorite radio station, and your favorite morning show host. Let's get back to Dominique DiPrima right now.
Right now, so the 16th of April marks, well, it's not the exact anniversary, but it's close to, it's 100 days, right?
It's 100 days.
100 days, yeah, because the 6th of January, 7th of January is when the fires broke out here in Southern California. And the 16th of April is when we will be doing a show to track what progress has happened, what still needs to be done, which of course is a lot because 100 days is nothing from a disaster of that magnitude, and how we can help. What are your thoughts so far? I mean, this is going to be something folks can come to.
Absolutely. It will be the 100th day since January.
Exactly.
Yeah,
okay.
Since January 7th. And the community and public are certainly invited. They need to register on KBLA1580.com. We want to look at where do we go from here? What are some of the things that we've learned? Where are people at right now? And then what does the future look like? Because I think as we are coming into this 100th day, the conditions on the ground are changing. The needs are changing.
Yeah, of course.
Yeah. So we as KBLA Talk 1580, want to make sure that we're in that space to hear what the community wants us to continue to report out on, be it on your show, Dominique, or on my show and many of the other shows across the
yeah, I mean, all of us have a responsibility to continue following up on this, even as it falls out of the news cycle.
The seniors are really the most vulnerable of our population, and so we really want to give some attention to some of their needs. And just imagine, Dominique, you've lived in your home 30, 40 years, and now you're in a 2-bedroom apartment with kids jumping upstairs. Yeah. So it's a different, it's trauma on top of trauma on top of trauma. And our seniors, Dr. Ishelle Williams said on my show Saturday that she wants a party. Like, she's looking for some joy to come back. So there's a myriad of emotions and things that people need, and we want to just be there to document it and see how we can lend our support through the delegation.
Yeah, I think that's right. I mean, I've been in my house 20 years, and I think about, you think you're going to live there. And then for those older adults, they also may not have the time or the resources to feel like they can comfortably rebuild.
I just talked with an elder who cashed out at $2 million. His insurance plus over what they were willing to pay for the property as is was $2 million cash. So I think a different part of this conversation and the quiet part out loud is building generational wealth may look differently now, and there's certainly a different pathway to generational wealth, but it was difficult for that 78-year-old to make a decision on rebuilding versus
cashing out. Yeah. But being a $2 millionaire, you know, in your older adult years, of course, you still got to get a place to live. But yeah, it's understandable. It's just sad because you want to build back blacker.
Well, I mean, that's an individual decision.
Of course it is.
You know,
I'm just saying, as a community, we don't want to lose another community. It's Wednesday, April 16th from 4 to 6 at the Robinson Park Recreation Center, which is 1081 North Fair Oaks. It's in Pasadena, which is obviously right by Altadena. It's sponsored by Quinn Emanuel. And you'll be there. I'll be there. Of course, Dr. Nicolai Corte will be there. That's his show. That's during the hours of his show. And Tavis Smiley's coming.
Yeah, I read that, and I was like, "That, what a treat for us."
The big guns. We're bringing out the big guns.
Right.
It'll be a chance for you to speak out as well. So hopefully we'll see you there if you're in the Alta Pass area or you hail from there, but you're no longer there for whatever reason.
Yeah.
Love to hear from you.
Yeah, absolutely.
And we're going to stream it. It's going to be available on the internets.
All of them?
Yeah.
Okay.
You know what? Maybe even the dark web.
Oh, boy.
But you know what other day it is today? There's a lot of anniversaries on this 31st day of March. It's the Angel-versary of Nipsey Hussle.
Is it?
I guess that's why Miles has on his marathon shirt in honor of the late, great Nipsey Hussle.
6 years?
Yeah.
6 years.
Yeah. Gosh, it doesn't seem that long ago.
Wow.
Yeah, 6 years. And it's funny, I was having a conversation with someone a couple days ago about Nipsey. I really feel like his footprint in terms his impact as a businessman is still underrated. I don't think people underrate him as an artist, even though he really, rose to the mainstream toward the very, very end of his career. I mean, probably didn't even live to see his worldwide acclaim at the level that it is now.
Mm-hmm.
But just in starting, the businesses, the marathon store, the barber shop,
I mean, but you're a hip hop historian, right? Like you're yes, you're a legend.
I'm just a participant.
Okay, all right.
I don't
we all
claim
participate.
a hip hop historian has to know everything. I don't know everything about hip hop.
I said that. You didn't say that.
I just don't want people to feel disappointed if they ask me, what was Biggie Small's middle name, and I don't know because I'm not, tracking it like that. Davey D would know. Miles might know, but. I don't.
The point is you have been in the game a long time.
True that.
Okay, so
hip hop loves me,
yes,
and I love it back.
Yes, you got credentials and you got credibility, right? But have you ever seen in your career, like in your observation, anyone that has had like that unique impact like Nipsey Hussle has had? Because I mean the when I think about the procession, I'm a late adapter to his music. I didn't really.
When
learn
you say
to him.
impact, are you talking about business? Are you talking about
just the whole?
Are you talking
his
about,
whole aura now?
Because
right?
honestly, yes, I hate to. I mean, yes, I have,
Mm-hmm.
and I want to point out that my career goes my involvement in hip hop predates my career. In other words, I was just a fan and a hanger-outer before it became attached to my career.
I got you.
So, ever since I was like too young to have a career, like 13 when I discovered hip-hop in New York. But anyway, the point is, I think Tupac in terms of how he impacted the culture and the consciousness and the way people look at hip-hop. I think Diddy, you're not going to like that, but Diddy, in terms of, you can say, but look at his business footprint. Look how many people he's put on, how he changed the business model. I mean, I could say Jay-Z. I don't know, Miles, what do you think? In different ways,
I mean, I heard James Hemming Horn at the Tupac one. But Tupac.
Yeah, we're gonna shoot you. This is Tupac country over here, baby.
I mean, but I feel like Tupac really, he represented the totality of what hip hop kind of was at the point in time. You know what I'm saying? It was a little bit for the ladies. It was a little bit of gangster. It was a little bit of conscious. It was a little bit of crossover appeal with the actor thing of it. It was a little bit of criminal investigation. It was a little bit of rap. It was a little bit of pop. And I think Tupac really, filled that blank.
No, I think you're right. And that wasn't common then. Like back
then. It
was
was frowned upon. It was banned. You couldn't do like you're doing now and making money off of being just a death culture rapper, you know what I'm saying? Right. Or just a nice guy like Will Smith was.
Everybody stayed in their lane more back then, right?
Right.
You were a gangster or you were conscious. A lot of the conscious people some of them were corny. So, I mean, Tupac was able to bring consciousness out of corniness. He was able to be a whole enterprise. And he's beloved internationally.
No, I mean, I don't have any issue.
I love Nip. Don't get me wrong, but you asked me, has anyone else had similar impact? And I just listed a bunch that I think have.
Most of Pac's impact was posthumous, right? Like it was kind of like
no. Nobody was doing movies. Nobody was.
I agree. We don't disagree on that. He was ahead of his time. He was a catalyst. He was a pioneer. He was a trailblazer. I get all of that. He broke down doors that others just now trip into. I got that.
And Paul Lee's right. Tupac was for black liberation. He came out of the Black Panther Party movement, and he was not shy about letting that be known. I don't know if you can have a Nip if you don't have a Pac.
I would disagree with that because the culture of rap had gone in such a space that Nip's brand of rap was more acceptable. You know, Pac's brand of rap didn't come commercial until he got with Death Row. You know as well as I do. But we're talking about Nip,
Tupac
right?
was what, 26 when he was murdered?
Yeah.
So yeah, of course he's gonna have. He's had more years being known dead than alive.
Sure.
I mean, so of course he's going to have more influence. But I think he impacted the culture while he was alive in a big, big way. Anyway.
Yeah, I'm just reflecting on the reaction from Los Angeles.
25, Paul says.
When Nipsey died. You know, when Nipsey was murdered and then his
Well,
memorial.
yeah, but Tupac was from the Bay. He was from Baltimore. He was from L.A. And also hip-hop wasn't as huge as it is now. Mm-hmm. I mean, Nipsey Hussle represented L.A. to the fullest. So, of course, L.A. came out. I mean, that procession that we had for him, that was
impressive.
That was amazing.
That is what was
amazing. I had to go down. I was down there just on Slauson, just hanging out because I wanted to see the people and feel that was something like
I had never seen anything like that.
That moment, yes.
You know what
sure,
I mean? And so when you're talking about the star,
the cops even stood down for a sec.
Yeah, I had never seen anything
that
like
was crazy.
that. We didn't see that with Pac.
Huh?
Nation Islam doing security.
I mean, right. RZA was doing security.
The Pastor Muhammad,
yeah, and Minister Tony, absolutely, yeah. That was amazing, and they did a good job. We didn't have problems that day. Eid Mubarak. We really didn't. Yeah, there might have been a little whatever, but to have a city-wide outpouring of love like that from all different sets, and the cops just deciding to do what they should always do, which is not harass the community. Mm-hmm. That was a beautiful thing. B. Bell says Nip brought the business back to hip-hop, the idea of ownership, buying the block. Absolutely. I'm not downplaying Nipsey Hussle's significance. I look up to him in his contribution. And I only met him once. I almost fell over when I met him, and he was like, Dominique DiPrima, like, knew my whole history, and was like, we got to do a project together. I said, I must be hallucinating. Did he just say that right now? All right, we got news, traffic, and sports, and then me and James will argue about some more stuff, and you're welcome to join.
I ain't arguing with you.
Well, yeah, you are.
Okay.
KBLA Talk 1580.
More of First Things First with Dominique DiPrima when we come forward.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. A large protest against anti-immigrant policies took place in Dallas, Texas. Thousands joined the Mega March 2025, organized by LULAC, wearing white and carrying American flags to support bipartisan immigration reform. The University of Michigan has decided to close its Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion office due to pressure from the Trump administration. The university, which had invested nearly $250 million in DEI initiatives since 2016, will also discontinue its DEI 2.0 strategic plan and related efforts. Instead, it plans to focus on financial aid, scholarships, and mental health support. The QVC group is laying off around 900 employees as part of a plan to merge QVC and HSN channels and expand on social media and streaming platforms. The layoffs represent about 5% of the company. And some national parks will require reservations this summer. Check the National Park Service website before planning your trip. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Since the dawn of baseball, countless players have heard the call of destiny. Witness the hills of the game in ballparks nationwide. Get your tickets today at MLB.com/tickets. Major League Baseball trademarks used with permission.
This is the KBLA Sports Minute with Ray Richardson.
Congratulations to the UCLA women's basketball team. They are going to the Final Four for the first time in their 41-year history as an NCAA program. UCLA held off LSU for a 72-65 victory in the Regional 1 final. 18 points, 8 rebounds, and 3 steals for junior guard Gabriela Jaquez. She scored 7 points in the final 2 minutes, including a clutch three-pointer with 1:30 left. Center Lauren Betts had 17 points and 6 block shots. The Bruins are 34-2. Their only 2 losses this season came to USC. UCLA and USC will meet for a 4th time this season in the Final Four if the Trojans can beat Connecticut tonight in the Regional 4 final. UCLA would meet the USC-UConn winner on Friday in Tampa. South Carolina, the defending national champions, will play the winner of tonight's Texas Christian Regional 3 title game in the other Final Four matchup. No debates, no speculation, just the info you need. That's your KBLA Sports Minute. I'm Ray Richardson on KBLA Talk 1580.
Looking for a purposeful and passionate way to make a difference in your community? Volunteer with our Senior Medicare Patrol and help prevent Medicare fraud. S&P volunteers work in their community educating peers about healthcare fraud and how to prevent and detect it. Free training starts soon. Check us out online or at an S&P open house near you. We're on a mission to stop fraud. Join our team. You make a difference. Visit CASMPvolunteer.org. Protect yourself from Medicare card scams. Scammers may call, email, or even knock on your door claiming they need your Medicare info, asking for money or threatening to cancel your benefits. Don't fall for it. It's a scam. Remember, Medicare doesn't need to verify your information. They already have it. Medicare won't charge you for a new card and will never threaten to cancel benefits. Check your Medicare statements for suspicious charges and report scams to the California Senior Medicare Patrol at 1-855-613-7080. We're here to help.
KBLA Talk 1580 is pleased to announce that like George and Weezy,
We're moving on now.
earlier this year, we were named as semifinalists for the American Climate Leadership Awards 2025. Wait for it. Wait for it.
You ready?
KBLA Talk 1580 was recently selected as one of 10 finalists being considered for this prestigious award. Hundreds of organizations, institutions, and even cities were nominated in the selection process. But KBLA Talk 1580 has made it to the finals. You're invited to watch live on Wednesday, April 16th. At 10 a.m. Pacific, 1 p.m. Eastern, 12 p.m. Central, as Eco America announces the winner and the runner-up, awarding over $200,000 in prize money. To watch live, just go to ecoamerica.org to register and attend the online ceremony. That's ecoamerica.org. Don't miss the presentation of the American Climate Leadership Awards 2025, Wednesday, April 16th, and wish us luck. Caring about the climate, caring about the community, changing the conversation. We're KBLA Talk 1580, and we've got your black. At Exquisite Family Mortuary, we know how overwhelming it can be planning a meaningful farewell for your loved one. Secure your peace of mind by calling Charlotte White at 323-577-5562. That's Charlotte White at 323-577-5562. From traditional funeral services to memorials to direct cremation, pre-needs, and more. Call Charlotte White at Exquisite Family Mortuary for Southern hospitality in Southern California. That's Charlotte White at 323-577-5562. Exquisite Family Mortuary is located nearby in Inglewood, California. Exquisite Family Mortuary, where your loved one becomes our loved one.
Hi, I'm Dominique DiPrima, and it's almost time to celebrate KBLA's 4th anniversary, coming up Juneteenth 2025. We'll be marking the achievement with 4 key community events, including a special symposium, luncheon, and brain trust hosted by me entitled The State of Black Women in Los Angeles. Keep it locked here for details on how to join us for this groundbreaking symposium examining the unique challenges, triumphs, and contributions of Black women in Los Angeles in the areas of education, healthcare, community leadership, cultural and political contributions. This public convocation will provide a critical forum to address the specific social, economic, and political realities facing Black women in LA today. We'll go live with a radio broadcast and YouTube live stream, a public discussion, and a private dialogue with some of LA's most impactful women. It's an affirmation of Black women standing at the intersection of race and gender in times of adversity while demonstrating remarkable resilience and leadership. We will listen and we will speak out and be heard, all in service of finding opportunities and solutions. Please plan to join us in celebrating our 4th anniversary by amplifying the voices of Black women. For more on our symposium and 4 events celebrating 4 years on the air, simply stay tuned or keep an eye on KBLA1580.com and help make this Juneteenth more jubilant with all of us at KBLA Talk 1580.
Thanks for waking up with Dominique DiPrima on KBLA Talk 1580.
Oh my goodness. James going to have me talking hip hop all day. Eazy-E in his own way, you know, in NWA made a huge impact on the culture. I mean, the list goes on and on and on and on.
Right. Right.
Rakim.
Right.
I would argue Rakim, the God.
Right.
You know, I'm sure there's a lot more that I'm just not thinking of right now.
We just disagree. That's all.
Yeah, you just a hater.
Well, I'm right though.
No,
and that's
you just a Pac hater. Why would you hate on Tupac Shakur?
I am not a
on the
Tupac.
show of Dominique DiPrima. Make it make sense.
Because my truth is my truth, and 2 things can be true at the same time. But you want to
your truth, even
things,
if it ain't true.
There's thirds. And you're wrong. That's the truth, right?
Okay, yeah. TR33 says they love our arguments. Yeah, me too. Even though this one want to cry and say he being bullied.
See,
do you have a college education, James?
I don't have anything right now.
Do you have a college? Did you go to college?
I did go to college.
Okay.
I didn't graduate.
Do you have
college.
kids?
I do have kids.
Oh, you didn't graduate? I didn't know.
I didn't.
Okay.
I didn't.
Are you a journalist? Do you write for the LA Progressive?
I write.
Do you have your own podcast and your own radio show?
All of that. What all that got to do with anything?
It means that we are both heavyweights stepping in the ring. So you can't be bullied. You can only be beaten.
No.
Boom. Mic drop.
I told you. I told you your arms are too short to box with me, Dominique. You know it's lightweight. I don't even. Even
if I have short arms, my body punches are fierce, and you gonna go down.
Listen, I'm wearing 16-ounce gloves when I'm sparring with you.
All I'm saying is, don't
playing.
cry and act like you've been bullied. If you just playing, bring out the big gloves and come on. I ain't scared.
That is the third time you said I was crying. I have not cried. I just said you are a bully. You're a bully. You're a bully.
So you that heavyweight, they're gonna get in the ring with Tyson and then cry you got bullied.
No,
black man. If this ain't your weight class,
I'm a black man that understands.
If this ain't your weight class, get out the ring. If this ain't your weight class, get out the ring. Don't come in here crying.
See, you know what? Well, how you doing this morning, Dominique? Can we
I'm
start over?
Great. Happy Monday.
I see. You know, you got some rest this weekend. I see, because you fired up.
I did, actually.
I just raised a question about Tupac, and you went always.
Raised the question? Is that what you call hating? You raised the question.
I did not hate. There is some context. And you asked about
Only God
writing.
can judge me.
You can read about it, and I've explained what I mean. Yeah, it is, and all eyes on me right now.
Yeah, and I feel bad for you because you don't want them eyes. You about to be haunted.
I can run some bars with you, so you know we don't want to do that right now.
No,
okay,
no,
all right.
Haters don't get to run bars. So, in a moment in time when we definitely need to clock our victories and our progress, I wanted to make sure we talked about a Black Lives Matter grassroots, and the BLM Los Angeles chapter on Friday had a press conference. I was there. It was well attended by media, actually, which is surprising for a Friday afternoon. Shout out to Jazz Mechanic and Sheila Bates and BLM Los Angeles for, putting in the work. So the family of Waukesha Wilson, which is her mom, Lisa Hines, and her auntie, Sheila Hines, who's been on the show. And if you missed that podcast, I would definitely recommend that you find that wherever you find your podcast.
She speaks the truth.
She pulls no punches.
Yes.
So they had a press conference because Thursday was the 9-year Angel-versary of Waukesha Wilson being killed inside the LAPD Metro Detention Center. You remember the case?
Absolutely. They don't seem to know what happened, right? Or can't.
Do they ever know what happened?
Right. It just somehow happened, and I know the family.
She just got mysteriously unalived while in police custody.
And the family has been advocating and fighting daily since to get answers, and nothing has been answered. And I understand that they weren't even notified. They couldn't find out where she was in custody, and just the nightmare.
Well, the mom showed up to court, and Waukesha wasn't there. They never told her. She waited through the whole day, and then it was like, oh, her case isn't coming. No one notified them. She was calling all around, couldn't get any answers. Then finally someone gives her a number, and she calls it, and it's the coroner's office. That's how she found out her daughter was.
Wait a minute, who gave her a number?
The police department. When she was calling the police department, someone gave her a number and said, call this number.
Okay. And
that number turned out to be the coroner's office. That's how she found out.
And that's how she learned her baby was gone.
It's just terrible. And the thing is, this is not uncommon. I can't tell you how many families. The mama of Helen Jones was there. Another impacted family. Same thing happened to her son. It happens a lot. They don't get notified. So on Friday, Congresswoman Sidney Kamlager unveiled the Family Notification Act. She introduced it. She reintroduced it late last year. This would make law enforcement on the federal level inform families if their loved ones are either killed, injured, or moved. Because this is another thing that they do. They move prisoners around within the system and don't tell their family. You're trying to visit your loved one in Michigan, and now all of a sudden they're in California.
Right.
So that she unveiled that. We'll see. That's going to be a tough sell with the current Congress, but
I mean, and I think that's great at the federal level, right? But this is a county situation here.
No, it's city.
City.
It's LAPD. It's LAPD Metro. Yeah.
But which becomes a county issue, right? Because the county medical examiner is the one who she had to call to find out.
Yeah.
She was in custody with LAPD.
But if it forces police to notify, then she never would have had to go to the coroner. But you're right. We should have a city law. We don't have that proposal yet. But there was a state law. Assemblymember Isaac Bryan has put forth Waukesha's Law. That's what he calls it. Waukesha's Law, which is meant to also address local prisons and jails. So hopefully his statewide measure, which is much more likely to pass with the supermajority in a Democratic state, would do something very similar. It requires notification if loved ones are killed or injured, hospitalized. within the
So
prison
this, so
system.
this young sister was in custody, and her family is looking for her. And how long does it take for them to find out?
I don't remember exactly. I think it's over a week. And she was calling everywhere, basically doing
Wait a minute,
her.
she had been unalive for a week before they found out?
Yeah.
Wow.
Because first she went to court. And then apparently that was Easter that year when she was killed, murdered, whatever happened inside that prison. And it's one of those cases where there's pieces of missing videotape and, you know, all the lies. They're saying it's suicide, kind of the standard. Well, she so she went to court, wasn't on the docket. Then she started calling around, and they kept sending her from person to person to person with no answers. And then finally she got a hold of a sergeant who gave her the number, and she called the number, and it was the coroner's office, which I just think is cruel.
So what was the call to action at the press conference? What are
to lobby and rally our lawmakers for Waukesha's law to pass. I mean, for us to call and lobby state lawmakers and have them also, Sheila Hines and Lisa Hines, who rarely speaks because she's still so crushed, but she did speak. They were grateful for the work of Black Lives Matter LA and BLM Grassroots and all of the impacted families who have stood with them and the lawmakers for really trying to push this through. And Sheila Hines made it clear that they're not done fighting. This is just the beginning for them in fighting for justice families, as they call them, which is families whose loved ones have been murdered by police and are now seeking justice and wherever they can get it.
Yeah, I heard, I'm not sure which family member, because I missed the introduction, but on This Is Not a Drill on Saturday, and they certainly, talked about the support that they've gotten from BLM Grassroots and BLM Los Angeles. Out there on the ground doing the work, supporting the families, and, we've seen it. I wished I could have been there on Friday, but I was...
Yeah. John Horton is say his name. That's the Helen Jones' son. She was there supporting on Friday. And of course, Waukesha Wilson, say her name. It's crazy how it just doesn't stop, right? The big, huge protests may stop, the attention of the media may stop, but the steady killing of 1,000 or more people a year by police in this country hasn't stopped. In fact, it's increased since 2020.
Do you think Hockman is going to charge any of them?
Any cops
Hockman?
ever?
Ever?
No, I don't. Do you? Maybe I'm missing something. I know he's charging. Go ahead.
I mean, he said he's going to be tough on crime, right? So
yeah, but he didn't. It depends. I guess it depends what you consider crime. Some people always have a justification for killing black folks. That's why we have to say Black Lives Matter.
Yes.
That's why we have to say it. And actually, that's how we met, because you do a lot of coverage of police abuse cases not just in Pasadena, but nationwide.
Nationwide. And that is how we met. And, we were kind of laughing. It's hard to recall so many of these things, right? I'm very familiar with this case, but it just triggered the curiosity again because I thought I was conflating it with something else.
Yeah.
And that's an unfortunate kind of reality of where we are with the information that we are in proximity to. But nonetheless, it hurts my heart to hear these mothers and family members have to be put through such a difficult thing by our government.
Yeah, that's really what it is. It's state-sanctioned executions,
it's
really.
These are human beings on the other side protecting their paychecks, their livelihoods, which I think everyone has the right to do. But, the intentionality of dragging out a lawsuit for 5 years because that's what the court allows you to do. It's just, we see it as so painful for the families, and they hold your hand, Dominique. They talk to you. They have tears in their eyes, and they just don't understand. And we may have answers that based on our observations, but it's not even our place to tell them. Like, this is going to be a long, road for you to get, if you get some answers.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's good, it's good that you cover it. It's good that you cover it. And on March 30th, actually, is the Angel-versary of John Horton, which was yesterday. Didn't realize that. So say his name, John Horton. Yeah. All right, we will continue our conversation. We had an earthquake this morning, apparently. The LA Times is suing the mayor, in case we needed any more clarity on what their agenda is when it comes to the mayoral race. We got a lot to talk about. KBLA Talk 1580.
Say the quiet part out loud. KBLA Talk 1580.
I'm still going for it, even with higher stroke risk from atrial fibrillation, and a regular heartbeat not caused by a heart valve problem. Over a 3-year study, Eliquis apixaban tablets reduced stroke risk better than warfarin, and over 97% of Eliquis patients did not experience a stroke. A first stroke occurred in 2.9% of warfarin patients versus 2.3% of Eliquis patients.
Don't stop taking prescription Eliquis without asking your doctor. It may increase your stroke risk. Eliquis can cause serious and in rare cases fatal bleeding. Don't take Eliquis if you have an artificial heart valve, abnormal bleeding, or antiphospholipid syndrome. While taking, you may bruise more easily or take longer for bleeding to stop. A spinal injection while on Eliquis increases risk of blood clots, which may cause paralysis, the inability to move. Get medical help right away for unexpected bleeding, unusual bruising, or tingling, numbness, or muscle weakness. Medications such as aspirin products, NSAIDs, SSRIs, SNRIs, and blood thinners may increase bleeding risk. Tell your doctor about all planned medical or dental procedures. Learn more at Eliquis.com or call 1-855-ELIQUIS.
The Eaton Canyon fire devastated many black families in Altadena, taking more than just homes. It took memories, legacies, and generational wealth. The heart of a black community is now in jeopardy, but Justice Coalition, led by Gage and King LA Lawyers for the People, are here to help. If you've lost your home, we are standing by to hold insurance companies and utilities accountable for the damage caused. When the community suffers, we all suffer. Together, we can rebuild what was lost. Your recovery starts today. Call 626-429-1259. That's 626-429-1259. Or visit www.eatonfirelawyers.net. Justice Coalition, Gage and King, LA Lawyers for the People. We got you. Call 626-429-1259. Visit www.eatonfirelawyers.net. Again, 626-429-1259. This is attorney advertising. Past results do not guarantee future outcomes. Legal representation is provided by licensed attorneys.
KBLA Talk 1580. We've got a lot to talk about.
KBLA Talk 1580 reminds you that we keep us safe. The Live Your Life organization mentors young women, helping them break negative mindsets and see beyond their surroundings. Through career exposure and hands-on training, they're encouraged to think big, stay focused, and make positive choices. Founded by Nikisha Mama Boo Smith, who transformed her life to become a community leader. Live Your Life is changing lives, but they need your help. They're raising funds to keep their new building open and expand their programs. Your donations will support food, clothes, hygiene products, and holiday giveaways. Visit liveyourlife32.com. That's LIVEYOLIFE32.com to help today. This is a community call to action from KBLA Talk 1580.
Find a righteous rage and don't be afraid to say what you see. We're KBLA Talk 1580.
Man raised in the chat asking why was Waukesha Wilson in jail. I don't remember, but I know it was a minor offense. It was on the level of like unpaid traffic tickets or jaywalking type stuff. It wasn't, it wasn't any major offense. It's just that she got arrested holiday weekend, so she had to stay in for the Easter weekend, I guess. I don't remember the exact claim, but I did say, and I do believe this a lot of time, they're in custody partly because they're black, because minor offenses, and that's what Man Ray is saying. Why don't we ever talk about why they end up in custody? Well, for one thing, no matter what they ended up in custody for, they weren't supposed to be killed, right? Even if it was a major offense, you don't get to execute people.
Right.
But the other thing is that if you look at arrest versus jailing, we can see the pattern. Black people are much more likely to be arrested even when not convicted, and then we are much more likely to be jailed for minor offenses.
Well, RIPA data shows that. I mean, the contact that blacks have with law enforcement is at a much higher rate, and if that's the gateway or the entry point, then it's sadly that more likely you'll see instances where someone is unalive for being in custody for a minor offense.
Yeah, it's the Sandra Bland.
Yeah.
Say her name theory. Okay, so real quick, because we don't have time for this, because we were arguing too much about Tupac. The LA Times is suing the mayor because it says that the mayor is obligated to give them her text messages. They say that they claim she unlawfully withheld and deleted text messages and other public records, even though the text messages that they've asked for have already been turned over to them. They're suing on principle. And it just, it's back to, as far as I'm concerned, this is the billionaires meeting once again and low-key trying to get Rick Caruso elected mayor on his second try.
Well, it's the black mayor issue, but then there's also the issue that, we should have access to the mayor's text messages and emails and other official communications as we're afforded through the California Public Records Act. I believe it's 6510 is the statute on it. Like, we should have access to freely examine and review official documents and communications that are not prohibited or not excluded by that statute, because they're doing work for the people on the taxpayers' dollars. That being said, now that we've seen what it is, knock it off.
And it's nothing.
Knock it off.
And it's literally nothing.
Knock it off.
It's her saying, okay, flying back, what are we doing about this? I mean, it's literally nothing. Instead of following up and saying, we're full of crap, and we try to imply that there was some shenanigans going on the part of the mayor by having her messages on auto-delete. Now we see them, and we were wrong. No, they don't do that. They sue her. Clearly, there's an agenda there. And the attorney, Kelly Aviles, says, it's bigger than text messages. The city seems to believe they can destroy whatever they want. Based on what? What are they destroying? Based on what?
Is she putting that?
I smell a ratoncito.
That same energy into Waukesha's case? Video disappears. Mm-hmm. I can think of video disappearing in other municipalities, and things just kind of
and they want another excuse to say the mayor was in Ghana. Blah blah blah. You know what? If I wasn't doing the job that I'm doing now, I would have already canceled my subscription to these jokers. But okay.
So are we hostage, or is this like Patty Hearst thing? Like we're
held hostage by the LA Times?
The LA Times because we need the Okay. Yeah. All right. I feel better about myself now.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's not. I do subscribe to the LA Daily News, the LA Times, the Washington Post, the New York Times. I should get the Chronicle, but it's just
the Los Angeles Progressive.
The LA Progressive. Yes. I am subscribed to the Progressive.
I
thought you knew.
No, I just thought I'd throw that in there while we were throwing out all those legacy.
As you absolutely should.
So we don't have a lot of time. But what were you saying?
So April 16th,
yes.
100 days since the Altadena fire. We're going to be in Altadena.
We're going to be in the community. We'll be in Pasadena, but at the historic Robinson Recreation Center in the auditorium. From 4 to 6, you're moderating. Dr. Cordelai.
You'll be there as well.
I'll be there.
Yeah,
Tavis
and Tavis
will be there, as long as a panel of hosts and experts and really survivors, people that are impacted, that'll help.
I'm looking forward to it. And also, today's the last day.
Today is the last day to apply for FEMA resources. The debris removal has been extended to April 15th. But in terms of the SBA resources and the FEMA resources, today at 8:59 p.m. Pacific Standard Time, your application has to be submitted. You can go to disasterassistance.gov to start that process. If you're in the Altadena area, you can go over to the Resource Center over on Woodbury, just west of Lincoln. Folks know what I'm talking about.
And get signed up. Get help if you need help.
Yeah.
I had seen an extension, and I thought it was for FEMA, but it's not. That was for the debris removal.
The debris.
You said.
Yeah, the right to entry to apply for that. Here's what people have to understand: if you do not apply, even if you don't think you need it, right? After today, you won't have an option of whether you need it or not.
Yeah. So we got to get it done. They can do it online too.
They can do it online. Yeah.
But because you don't know, you might Maybe your house didn't even burn down, but then you find out later your soil is deeply contaminated.
Yeah, if you haven't applied yet, start right now, because there are certain documents that you need, declarations from your insurance. So it's a little bit more. And if you have had a GoFundMe, that's not an issue. Applying for FEMA won't impact your Social Security or disability benefits or any other government assistance that you receive. So it's important that people apply today, right now.
Well, James Farr, it's been a pleasure chatting with you.
Thank you, Dominique.
Yeah. And like I said before, if you're not in the weight class, don't step in the ring.
You know, well, get your game up. You'll be all right.
Game's up, baby. Game's all the way up. Listen to this joker on Saturdays at 10. Conversation Live. Altadena Rising, only right here. We've got Mindful Monday next on KBLA Talk 1580.
KBLA 1580 Santa Monica.
I'm Bree Wood with 4 Things You Should Know with BIN News. A large protest against anti-immigrant policies took place in Dallas, Texas. Thousands joined the Mega March 2025, organized by LULAC, wearing white and carrying American flags to support bipartisan immigration reform. The University of Michigan has decided to close its Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion office due to pressure from the Trump administration. The university, which had invested nearly $250 million in DEI initiatives since 2016, will also discontinue its DEI 2.0 strategic plan and related efforts. Instead, it plans to focus on financial aid, scholarships, and mental health support. The QVC group is laying off around 900 employees as part of a plan to merge QVC and HSN channels and expand on social media and streaming platforms. The layoffs represent about 5% of the company. And some national parks will require reservations this summer. Check the National Park Service website before planning your trip. Get BIN News on demand 24/7 on the iHeartRadio app.
Since the dawn of baseball, countless players have heard the call of...
They are going to the Final Four for the first time in their 41-year history as an NCAA program. UCLA held off LSU for a 72